What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Road Talk. Guys, today we have a chapter for you. One Piece 1014 was jam-packed with a lot of fun information that I enjoy right now, guys. And it just got me really excited about the upcoming stuff on the new chapters that's coming up next week, because Oda said we get another chapter next week. So I'm glad that Oda is doing that for us right now. But guys, I'm really excited to talk about this. It's been a week off, and I'm ready to talk to y'all once again about some One Piece. So, guys, let's get into the show of Road Talk. Let's go! So on the first page of One Piece, one chapter 1014, we have Kaido is still talking about Luffy as he just got finished throwing Luffy off of the Onishigima Island, and he was telling Luffy that he used his armament coating of Haki in a certain type of way that was crude and clumsy. And you couldn't be Joy Boy either, and then start laughing about how Luffy names his attacks. He was like, what was that attack that you called it? Gum gum no, and then start laughing and saying woro. And once again, guys, I'm telling you, Kaido knows way more about Will of D and Joy Boy, for instance, because he's talking about Joy Boy right here and right now on this chapter. So he knows a lot more than what we believe he does. And I'm interested in to see his more backstory. If Yamato goes to fight him or something and then draws him into more of his backstory, I'm interested into to see how that would develop and how would that work, and if will we get more of his backstory. But he knows a lot more, guys, and it seems like Joy Boy has some type of tie to him because of how Kaido was talking about, you're not Joy Boy either. I think I'm just guessing right now, and I have been guessing right for quite some time. Go back and look at my other chapters on my reviews. But Kaido has said, you're not Joy Boy either. So I'm guessing that Joy Boy has a tie to Kaido about how Joy Boy will probably come to defeat Kaido. And Kaido, I'm starting to see a development in Kaido's character, that Kaido knows that his big fight is coming. And he's waiting for Joy Boy to come to take him out of with a great bang and a great fight of a war. And that's why Kaido all this time wanted a great war, because he knows once he gets his great war, he knows that he has done his role of this whole story that Joy Boy has developed for him. So it's just going to be interesting to see, because Kaido is starting to develop into a great character, and time will tell what type of character will he even grow more into. With Kaido informing the whole Onishigima Island that he has won his fight with Straw Hat Luffy, that we see the next page of Yamato is running and fighting the foot soldiers of Kaido. And then we also can see that Momonosuke has been reading his father's journal, and he is understanding that more about the Will of D, I'm assuming, by reading his father's journal, because I believe his father probably left Momonosuke some type of identification of why he needs to be alive, because Momonosuke then states to Shinobu that I must not die right now, because he's needed for something. And then we get to go see everybody's favorite raccoon dog, Chopper.
A raccoon dog.
Can't you see the antlers? I'm a reindeer!
And when we see Chopper, he's wrestling with Queen and body slamming him onto the ground, but with no avail. That is not working against Queen, because we all know Queen is a commander, and at least with a commander, you need to know armament Haki at the least to fight against them. And Chopper doesn't know it. And then we see a little flashback with Chopper that he is talking to Caesar Clown when he was captured. Caesar Clown was captured by the Straw Hat crew. And Caesar Clown is telling Chopper, like, hey, dude, like, you only get 3 minutes at these rubble balls? Like, that's not going to be affected to nobody. Like, you need at least to be longer. And then you can see that, I guess, he influenced Chopper to probably experiment with some other things, so he can get his monster form to a little bit longer than 30 minutes, and it probably will have some side effects to make it probably even Chopper even stronger, because that's what Caesar Clown is stating. He said it might cause some side effects, but if you're not brave enough to do it, but Chopper is brave enough to do it, so we will see exactly how broken could Chopper be in the future. Who knows? Time out. Imagine if Chopper has, like, after taking that, he just gets armament hockey at the freaking wazoo, and he just be glowing like Virgo, just on some weird stuff. It's just a funny thought that just popped in my head, but that'd be hilarious. Doing some type of experiment, and then all of a sudden he just has armament hockey crazy galore. Like, that'd be hilarious. Then we get to see the Marys are announcing to the whole Onishigima floating island that Straw Hat Luffy has lost his fight to Kaido. And then we can see everybody that's around, that's on the Straw Hat side, including Marco and like Jinbei, Frankie, they all are shocked about it. And then what we get to see that's really cool is that Zoro and Sanji is like, screw that. They know that Luffy cannot be lost to a fight against Kaido, because they know who their captain is, and you gotta love to see that the dedication and the love for their captain that's glowing with them, and they all know that, and the readers know that too, that Luffy is not defeated. But we do get to see Luffy submerging in the water in one of these panels. And what I believe that's going to happen is that Momonosuke is going to be able to tap into Zou and pull Luffy out of the water, because everybody knows that Zou is somewhere lurking around. So I believe that's is going to be in effect pretty soon. Then we also can see Kaido is floating around on the Shikima Island, talking about how Lin has lost this war, meaning that, you know, she's making a mess of this war. Not lost the war, but making a mess. And we could see that Kaido is about to come up and help her clean up the crew. But before Kaido cleans them up, he wants them to surrender first. That way it would increase his army if they surrender and go to his cause. And because the Straw Hat crew increased with Kaido's crew and Big Mom's crew, that's darn near unstoppable. So if he can get all of them to surrender their lives to them, and then that would just benefit Kaido tremendously. But before that, then we get to see everybody's favorite hated villain, Kanjuro. And Kanjuro is still on the same games he was in the last times we saw him. Kanjuro transformed back into Oden and went to go talk to Momonosuke. And that really irritated me so much, but I loved it at the exact same time, because when Kanjuro gets so deep into his own character like that, it just benefits the chapter itself. It just makes you more irritated and can't wait to see this person go down. And that's why it was kind of one of my favorite chapters, because it was just so much more jam-packed stuff that was going on with that, especially with Kanjuro that's doing that. And then when he see Momonosuke, he keeps on selling the role of he's older, like, hey, my son and everything. And then Kiku comes up and wants to go ahead and attack Oden, but all the history that she has with Oden and Oden helping her out, and when she was at the lowest, it just made her not to attack Oden, even though she knew it was Kanjuro. And then Kanjuro gave her the blow. But without any avail, Kinemon stepped up to the plate, which I really kind of a little shocked by, because I expected Kinemon to fight Orochi, and it just especially. Well, anyways, before we get too farther into it, but Kinemon decides to attack Kanjuro, and then Kanjuro hits his last breaths, what it looks like. But we will have to see it once the whole Wano arc is over. But then, out of nowhere, Kaido pops up. It kind of reminded me like when I used to watch my cousins play Resident Evil. I was too scary to play that game, but when they used to play the Resident Evil game, and then that big monster used to come out of nowhere, just break through the walls, adds and shivers down my spine. And that's exactly what Kaido did. He just came out the ceiling and dropped right into where Momonosuke, Kinemon, and Shinobu was at, and he just came in and gave Kinemon the business with one hit attack, and then I don't know if Kinemon would survive that attack because Luffy wasn't even surviving that attack. I just can't see Kinemon as surviving that attack. So we would have to see how that all shapes out. But then that cuts away from the end of the chapter. So Oda, thank you for the chapter next week. Thank you for this chapter here. It was great, jam-packed with a lot of stuff. And I will start talking about a little bit of the things that I missed about the chapter. One thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, which I found was probably some key information, is about when Momonosuke was telling Kinemon and the others about that they need to do something. And I swear I'm counting that it has to do with something with Zou, because he was having that headache that he had previously when he was on top of Zou. He had that feeling. And when I was reading in the other chapters of 968 I was just reading, just brush up on some material, but I was reading that and it had the same little headaches that Odin and also Roger had. So it just looks like it looked just like Momonosuke was talking to Zou, and Zou was telling Momonosuke what he needs to be done. And especially since Momonosuke read the book of Odin journal, so I think the chapter is about to start getting real juicy. This war is about to start getting real juicy once Momonosuke starts to evolve himself as a character. Last thing I wanted to mention is that Zoro is down, Luffy is down, everybody is taking L's left and right, and their tough cabanas need some type of help or need some type of sensu being to get them back into the game, because without that, I don't see them how Luffy, so wounded, will go back up and fight against Kaido. It just doesn't seem right for me. So I believe it's either two things going to happen, and one thing, Oda might just have Chopper gives Zoro and Luffy some type of milk, and then they feel way better again, because you know how powerful milk is in One Piece world. Or Momonosuke once again will dive in deeper into his devil fruit powers as well, and his devil fruit powers might have some healing effect, because Kaido has some floating effect because dragons do that. And I don't know how far will Oda develop Momonosuke dragon powers. Maybe, especially since the landscape of Wano is decimated by the factories that Kaido has produced. But how would that be solved by the end of the chapter and making everybody be able to eat again? I feel like some type of healing effect Momonosuke would have to heal the whole world back. I know I did say one last thing, but I had to mention one more thing about Luffy. And that thing is, when Luffy was falling off, like I said in my last review, One Piece chapter 1013, Luffy ran out of hockey, guys. He did not lose that fight. He just ran out of hockey. And how many times have we seen Luffy when he run out of hockey of Gear 4, that he just squeezes out and like a little balloon goes out. And I believe that's what happened. He was charging up, not knowing his limits of that new hockey. And he thought he could fight Kaido at the time. He thought he was mano a mano, but Kaido has years of training with that. And Luffy just now learned it. So he ran out of stamina, just like Momonosuke stated in the previous chapter. So that's why Luffy really fell off the island. It wasn't the fact that Kaido gave him a blow or anything. Luffy just met his match, and then Kaido, which it still shocks me, Kaido still let him fall off instead of, giving somebody a final blow. And then he states that, like, I wish I would have just took his head. But he loves that. He has that Goku mentality of, I want to fight him again when they are fully strong. I feel like that's what it is. And then especially since the whole Joy Boy thing, he's still hoping that he is the Joy Boy to come to defeat him. So, guys, that was my chapter. Once again, sorry for rambling along at the end, but this chapter was one of my favorites. It just had so many informations and more theories that you could develop right here. So it was just real good to see this chapter. Can't wait for next week for the chapter. Once again, guys, this was Road Talk. I was your host, Ro. If you did like this review and this reaction, please leave me a like. Comment down below what would you like to see next. Once again, it's been fun. Till the next time, peace.